Hello everyone, welcome back to Data Engineer YouTube channel. In this video, we will see how you can become a Azure Data Engineer in 2026. We will see all those relevant skills which are today trendy, and we will see how what skills an interviewer demands, like whenever you give an interview. So let's get started with that, right? Firstly, let us see like what actually does a Azure Data Engineer do, right, on a day-to-day basis. So basically, number one thing is they build data pipelines, right, for the data movement or orchestration, and then they even move data from the API, apps, databases to a single location. So generally, what we do is we collect the data from multiple sources to a single location. So that's the duty of a data engineer. They transform the data, clean the data, and store it for the analytics plus AI purposes. So now earlier the role of data engineer was just for analytics, right? So they make the data business ready for the analytics purposes. But now even AI is there, so they prepare the data for both the analytics as well as AI, right? And sometimes reporting as well, right? So wherein you create dashboards in Power BI and so on, right? So these are the day to day, you can say task of a data engineer. It's like this thing is like if we want to do something from scratch. Other than that, like there are bugs, there are data issues, so data engineer looks into that and fixes the same, right? So these are the day-to-day activities performed by a data engineer. Now, why data engineering? Now, if we see, like, why actually we need to go into this domain, right? The number one thing is like there is a huge demand of cloud data engineers, be it AWS, be it Azure, or be it GCP, right? Uh, I will prefer like because I'm from that domain as well, and I have seen a lot of projects in Azure, so you can definitely pick Azure Data Engineer as a career, and you will grow a lot, right? And enterprise companies they use Azure heavily, right, from development to everything, right? So that is the reason why I would say like Azure precedes AWS and GCP as well, right? And like you can see nowadays everything is stored, even not deleted, right? So data volume is growing day by day for each company, right? Now we will talk about what are the tools which you should know. So these are the tools. Now we'll start and we'll see what actually it does, right? So Azure Data Factory for the data orchestration or creating pipelines, we use Azure Data Factory. This is again a resource of Azure, so you should learn this. You should learn Databricks, right? Databricks you can learn it independently also, but in Databricks is a separate company. It have partnership with Azure as well, and there is a resource in Azure portal which is Azure Data Factory. You can use that as well. Both are similar platform. If we talk about Azure Databricks, the infra and everything is related to Azure only. So that's why it's hosted there, and we can use that, right? So in Databricks, you can write PySpark, SQL, R, Scala. In all any language you can code, and internally it's uses Spark architecture. So you should also know Spark, okay? The architecture in that architecture, and how it does the parallel processing. You should know everything. So a lot of interview questions are on Spark, Python, and then Databricks altogether. And then we have Azure Synapse Analytics. It's a warehousing tool wherein you can even see Power BI. You can have notebooks here as well. In Databricks also you can have notebooks. In the Azure Synapse Analytics also you can create notebooks, right? So somewhat similarity is there. Somewhat like, right? So not all. And then ADF part is already available in Azure Synapse Analytics. So if you are using Azure Synapse Analytics, you need not to use Azure Data Factory and so on, right? And then you should know Azure SQL and all the SQL queries. You should know, like in interview there are a lot of SQL questions. And then the Power BI is the reporting tool wherein you create dashboards and reports. Now we have Azure Data Factory, we have Azure SQL, we have Power BI. So now Microsoft have launched a single all-in-one platform which is Microsoft Fabric. Okay, in this you can create notebooks just like in Databricks. You can create reports just like in Power BI. It has its own Fabric Data Factory just like Azure Data Factory. You can mirror your databases, like whatever Azure SQL database is there, you can mirror it here in Fabric. You can have stream analytics. So it's an all-in-one platform. That means if you learn Fabric, ideally learning other tools will be very easy. So this should be a must in 2026. Okay, this should be very must in 2026. You should know it, right? Now these are the certification which you can do once you are done with these resources. You can have these certifications. One is AZ900, which is fundamentals of Azure, and then you can see DP203, and that is related to Azure Data Engineer. Then we have DP600 and 700. Those who want to go into analytics, right, or then they can go with the DP600. If you want to go in total data engineering, you can go with DP700. So in DP700, like both the exam questions will be different, right? So there it will be more of analytics, infra part and all. Whereas in DP700, there will be questions in PySpark and so on as well, right? So that's the difference. So you can go with these certifications once you are completed your curriculum, right? These technologies. Apart from these technologies, make sure you know basic things, basic resources like Azure Key Vault is there, Azure app configurations. So that's an edge, okay? And you should also know, because you are in 2026, you should also know, you can, once you are done with this, you can learn Azure OpenAI, okay? How to do a REST API in Azure OpenAI. Then you can learn more about Azure AI Foundry. Basic knowledge you should have about that as well, because nowadays we have seen like there are combined roles of data engineering plus the AI, right? So you can fit into that as well, right? Now, if we talk about salary growth in India, fresher earns anywhere between 0 to 8 LPA. If you have 2 to 4 years of experience, you earn somewhere between 0 to 18 LPA. And if you have 5 plus years of experience, you can even cross 30 LPA, right? So that much growth potential is there still in data engineering field, right? Uh, Now, the common mistakes which people, which candidates make while preparing for the data engineering. So number one is learning too many tools. As is told, right? These are the tools which are required. One by one you can go. If you want to if you just want to go with Scratch, make sure you go with Fabric, because everything is available there. Once you have done with Fabric, other tools they will feel easy, because things are similar in Fabric, right? Next thing is you should focus on, let's say you are focusing for Azure Data Engineer, then just learn Azure tools as of now. Okay, don't go with AWS also, learning GCP tools also, right? That will be a waste of time, right? First master one cloud and then switch to other clouds, and prepare for them as well, because at the project management role, or you can say at a lead role, or you can say as a manager role, you should have the knowledge of multi-cloud. But if you want to become a data engineer or a senior data engineer, at that time you can master one particular cloud, and that will be enough, right? Next thing is ignoring SQL and Python, right? So generally what happens is in interviews, because SQL is very fundamental, so SQL is asked, even Python programs are asked, basic of Python like list operations and so on, questions like palindrome and all. So easy questions are asked for Python as well, because uh, PySpark is totally, generally PySpark we use in Databricks and even in Fabric notebooks, right? So in PySpark, obviously Python is used, right? So that's why they ask you question related to Python as well. So SQL is must, right? I would suggest just solve one question every day, right, of SQL. And generally people like candidates don't make real projects, make some real projects, right? So this is my final advice. Focus on SQL, Python, and Azure along with AI. Okay, make sure OpenAI and the Foundry part in Azure. Okay, at the last you can focus on that as well. Right? Build real pipelines using Azure Data Factory. You can use Fabric pipelines. You can make pipelines in Synapse, Analytics, anywhere. But you should build some real pipelines, right? And then show some projects on GitHub. That's it, right? So once you're done with this, once you're prepared, you're ready. You're ready. So this will be the, you can say, flow chart of how to prepare for data engineering in 2026. If you want me to make a video on the top interview questions, like the hotspot questions in 2026, I'll make a video on that as well. So just put a comment in the comment section that you want a video for the top hotspot interview question, and I will be preparing a video on the same. Resource wise, we'll have separate for ADF, we'll have separate for Databricks and so on. Okay, so I hope you found this video useful. I'll be posting 2 videos every week, so make sure you subscribe to my channel and yeah, enjoy learning. Thank you.